shot at a time.
Welcome back to the Enjoy the Walk podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, do we have some news, which I'm sure we'll get into a little later. We are joining a full-fledged crew of golf, Dante, starting tomorrow. You've been playing here for the last couple of days since New Jersey opened up golf courses, and my own home state of Maryland finally said, you know what? I think we can let the hounds loose. We can let them play. So excited to be back on the golf course here as well. Really pumped to see how it breaks down. I don't know any details yet. You would think being one of the last states to open that, we'd have it figured out watching everyone else do it. But as comes and goes with, people putting things off to the last minute, it seems like we've all done that here in Maryland too. And we're still waiting on the details of how exactly we're going to get to play golf. It was pretty cool seeing you recount your experience today in New Jersey.
Yeah. Let everybody kind of see what's going on. It's kind of, honestly, the process is different from kind of more of a check-in standpoint. And then once you, we can go into it later, but once you get onto the course, it's just like another day and you're just out there hacking it around or doing whatever. But yeah, it was a lot of fun today. Probably going to take a break tomorrow. My feet are absolutely killing me. They're destroyed. I've been soaking them in Epsom salt each day. Yeah.
You go from walking the course on your PlayStation to walking the course in physicality. The dogs don't like that too much.
0 to 100 real quick.
That's awesome, man. Well, I tell you what, as we see courses opening back up, a guy we're about to talk to and bring onto the show has kind of been an awesome advocate for that, as we've seen kind of in 2015 and even before that in the golf scene, allowing guys and girls that aren't really, your single-digit handicaps, the ability to play golf and play it at a competitive level. So we're happy to bring on from NextGenGolf, Ben Tyler. Ben's been an advocate and kind of a crucial part of NextGenGolf here for at least the last decade, even more. So, Ben, how are things out there in Massachusetts where you're still biting at the bit to play some golf?
Yeah, I was going to say, well, first of all, thanks for having me on, guys. Obviously, a pleasure to be here. But, yep, we're officially the last state standing for no golf. So this is going on quite a bit of time now, and we're chomping at the bit. But yeah, we're still a little bit of ways away. So we'll see. Yeah. Hopefully, it's in a couple weeks or so.
Those are never words you ever wanted to hear yourself iterate or thought you'd ever hear yourself kind of say. Exactly. And I'm sure in the last 8 months.
Exactly. It's been an interesting time, especially for, our business, but I think everyone is kind of ready to get out and have some social interaction at some point and play some golf.
Yeah, I think that's you hit it perfectly. Everyone's just ready for social interaction, and it's not even playing competitive golf. It's playing golf and like just getting out there with your buddies again and meeting new people on the course. I think that's one thing, we miss as well too. And, I find myself playing as a single sometimes just to get out on the course, if I'm not a member there or anything, and get matched up with some random people. And by the end of 18 holes, you end up being some pretty good friends with them at least and having some fun if they're decent human beings. So I miss that too,
I'll tell you what, in Jersey, since we're doing the twosomes, if no one knows, Jersey's twosomes only, which every 16 minutes, so 8 players an hour. It's kind of funny because we have such a huge membership at my course, and we bounce back from different courses because we have like 5 others to play from. And just the excitement that you see, like we'll look over and we saw like other members and we're like, whoa, like, yo, like what's going on? Like, oh, like the excitement just to see other human beings and like the camaraderie that you've developed with, your group of guys that you've played with, and just being able to see them. I mean, you're like hoping to see maybe one other person, because you're just like it's either me or my dad, or it's like my buddy Dan. I just kind of like text him, like, yo, this is going to be kind of tricky. You just want to like partner up for all like every weekend. And he goes, yeah, no problem. Just so because they won't allow singles to book, and you have to book twosomes, and the only thing that you're allowed to do if you want more is if you're playing with like a family member. Like if it was me and my dad, I can probably bring someone else. Yep. But courses are still a little iffy about that, so you're just kind of like looking around like, who's out here, because half the time it's just you and your partner, and you're in the middle of the fairway and you don't see a soul. So it's just like what you're saying, just the camaraderie and just the excitement, just to see, just social and just see people. That's like kind of like one of the biggest things that has, you take for granted
Yeah.
with it, with
It's
golf in general.
It's crazy, man, and I'm super pumped to be, back at it in some way, shape, or form. Like I said, we still don't know the details, so I'm still waiting on that. I think they said details will come out at 7 a.m. tomorrow, so kind of holding our breath to see when we can make tee times and stuff like that. But Ben, take us through Next Gen Golf. Tell us what it's about now. I know it's kind of evolved over the last 20 years or so, but take us through what Next Gen Golf is and does currently.
Yeah, so we're a big advocate for team golf. And to break it down pretty simply, we have three different business lines and three different ways that we kind of look to grow the game. So, starting with the National High School Golf Association, so the NHSGA, we ran the first high school invitational last year in Disney. And basically what that was if you were a state champion, if you were on your high school team, if you won the state championship, you'd be invited to basically compete for a national championship, which has never been done before. Kind of mind blowing, especially I think we all played high school golf. It's interesting to see that, if you did win your state championship, that was kind of the end of the road. And especially for, when we were seniors, I didn't have the luxury of winning a state championship, unfortunately, but, it would have been cool to kind of compete on a national level with your high school team. So we kind of got that rolling, and great success last year down in Disney for the first one. We had, over 100 boys and over 100 girls, and it was a blast. Kids had an awesome time and really got to take that national next step with their high school team. So, before all this pandemic hit, we were set to bring back year two, and it was going to be even better. We already had over 200 people, over 200 boys signed up. Once again, 100 girls, and we were ready to take it to Pinehurst end of June. And right now we're still kind of in a holding pattern, and we think we're just kind of waiting to see and see what will happen with this in the next couple months. But we're really hoping, because it's going to be a big kind of next step for us on the high school side of things.
That's really cool. And, It seems like every kind of premier amateur golf, or even, some sort of competitive golf, is finding its way to Pinehurst. And I think it speaks to how great of, a facility they have down there. But, talk on how you were able to grow that, I guess, from year one to year two. Was it just all word of mouth on how much, people enjoyed playing in that event?
Yeah, so Chris Noble, he actually manages that line for us, and he does an unbelievable job in just making those connections with, the teams, the coaches, and after that first experience, nobody really had any idea what to expect. It's, no one's done it before. It's, we've run national tournaments for club golf and for City Tour, which is our post grad, but never for high school before, and it was all kind of new to us. So Chris just did an unbelievable job just making those relationships with not only the players, but the families that he was working with and the coaches, and just getting that feedback of what worked at Disney and what didn't. Obviously it was in June, so naturally Disney in June is a pretty hot place. But it was just kind of taking that feedback of what went well, and seeing what they wanted to do for potential next stops. And we have a great relationship with Pinehurst. We had our City Tour championship there last year, so kind of a, like you said, no-brainer to go back to that just absolute heaven of golf.
That's awesome. And yeah, I mean, excited to hopefully still see that happen. I know Dante and myself is also looking at playing in a tournament in June, and then hopefully actually, championship in November, which will also be at Pinehurst, the Barstool Classic. So we're hoping to hopefully still have that qualifier in June. And I think fingers are crossed and breath's being held a little bit. But when you're seeing, I don't think we might not see the after party like we usually do, but I think we might still see golf being played. Yeah. So, might be a little logistics change as far as, the extracurriculars, but I think the golf might still be able to be played, which is a telltale, relief sign of at least good hope that we can be in that position. Definitely. But, talk us through how you got there. You said the City Tour, is your kind of post-grad tour. Talk us through how that kind of got kickstarted in 2015.
Yeah, so to kind of back it up too, we have our National Collegiate Club Golf Association. It kind of goes in a progression stage there. So yeah, National Collegiate Club Golf Association We kind of got that going to help basically anybody play college golf. That's what we were looking for. And, so I did the professional golf management program. So I had that kind of avenue, obviously the varsity side of things, but to kind of, break it into another level to allow everybody to play club golf. Cause, it could be a thing where you want to go to your dream school. Personally, I always wanted to go to Ohio State, and, that's a pretty good golf team there as we know. So, not really being able to play on that varsity side of things. We kind of looked at the opportunity there in the National Collegiate Club Golf Association. It allowed everyone to play. So, we have a massive following with club teams all over the country, and we try to put on at least 2 to 3 tournaments in the spring and then in the fall as well, with championships at both the end of the spring and the fall. So really just, providing both guys and girls to a chance to get out and play. So that's kind of the second aspect. And then City Tour, which you were just talking about, that's actually what I manage. So it's more so of our post-grad league. We try to just, continue to provide that opportunity, because as you guys know, it's you graduate, and if you were on a varsity team, you had the opportunity for free gear and free golf for most of the time. And then even in the club side of things, we provide some discounts with Strixon Cleveland Golf, one of our big partners. But once you get out of college, it's kind of like, okay, what's next? And everyone's looking for a way to play. So the City Tour is like I said, kind of post-grad league in 25, 26 major cities in the country right now. And just kind of depending on where you are, there's at least 2 and, maybe up to 7, like in the Boston area here, of just tournaments to play in, all team-based golf, no handicap needed. And you can choose between scramble and best ball. So it, kind of tailors to all aspects and all skill levels.
That's great that you said the what's next, because I grew up actually in high school, and the listeners know as well, I grew up high school and college playing lacrosse, and you walk across that stage, after being a kid and then an adolescent and then a young adult, playing up to like maybe 20 years of competitive sports, to then walk across the stage, get your degree, and then it's all right, well, what's next? Like, here's this competitive person that I am, that I want to compete. I like sports. Like, I'm going to want to play in something. And then I'm finding men's lacrosse leagues where it's like just beer leagues, and it's like, which was fun and the camaraderie is great, but where's that competitive juices? Like, where can I strive to achieve something? And, we all love sports. We all love different other sports. And that's when I picked up golf, because you can do it by yourself. But like what you're saying there is like kind of nail on the head. And what I've told Dalton about this, I was like, yeah, we gotta talk to these guys, because that's what I strive for. Is like, I want to be able to still compete at a sport in a more competitive and organized level. And that's something that I see that you guys have. And I cannot harp enough. I hate, there's got to be more for, the 21 and older, because it's either you're playing a sport from a young kid to college, and then you're either going pro or you're not. It's like, well, there's so many players out there that have talent that can still compete, even though it's not at the highest all-star professional level. I always think there should still be something out there for people to still be able to, it's like almost you're just saying, hey, now it's time to hang up the gloves. You're like, yo, I'm 21, 22 years old, and you're telling me I got to basically retire from competitive sport. There's something wrong with that. Yep. And it seems like you guys have fixed that.
Yeah, exactly. And it kind of offers for the competitive side, and then just the casual golf, that's when you get into it too. Because as we all know, a scramble format, you can, play once or twice a year and, have a good partner and still be able to complete a tournament, which I think is pretty cool. And that's an aspect that, we're proud to offer. So, you can choose best ball, scramble. Obviously, best ball is going to be your more competitive players, and, scramble if you're just looking to have some beers and go out and play some golf, which, obviously we all enjoy as well. So it's good, best of both sides there.
Now talk us through, you aforementioned it a little bit there earlier, of kind of where it all began was the National Collegiate Club Golf Association, which I think is such an epic aspect of competitive golf, especially at a national level for
Yep.
for kids who may not just be good enough to play on their, collegiate team. Like you said, when you talk dream schools, and especially at the D1 level, most kids that play at that level in D1 are having aspirations of playing professionally, and usually make a good run at it, at least, right out of college, can at least compete on some
Yep.
mini tours and stuff like that. So talk us through that. How did that offer, or at least start to offer, an opportunity for kids who were still pretty good at golf, but, weren't going to make those collegiate teams to have a chance to play competitively for their schools in a club fashion?
Yeah, I mean, so Chris Hart, our CEO, and Matt Weinberg, our COO, they played a very integral part in it. And obviously, Matt Weinberger played at Dayton, and when Chris kind of got this whole thing rolling, Matt and him connected and really said, "Hey, there's an opportunity here for people to play some golf." And yeah, like you nailed it on the head there. There's so many kids that, when they're going to play varsity golf, they're probably tour aspirations or some sort of mini tour is kind of their next step there. And then there's also a ton of kids that are extremely successful in high school, and like I mentioned, might want to go to South Carolina or Clemson, and it's just really hard to play on that golf team. So they started to see it just continue to grow. It became the National Collegiate Club Golf Association in 2006, and it was a small group, and it was just kind of starting to get the snowball effect there, and really has blossomed. And it's one of those things where we have a team of 3 basically that runs the National Collegiate Club Golf Association, and puts on these tournaments, and offers these kids discounts through Strixon and Cleveland, and kind of provides them that opportunity that they might not have had. And there's some cool success stories too that just make it all worth it too. And it's one of those things where some kids play on the club team at schools like Michigan State, and perform pretty well. And when walk-on opportunities provide themselves, we've had a few kids that have played varsity, like I said, at Michigan State, just to name a few. But so it's pretty cool to kind of see that aspect. But it's growing like crazy, and it's been a cool ride.
That's awesome. And you say, it kind of like snowballed from there. You talk about, at least from what we're seeing here, is like, you also started College Golf Pass around 2011, which ended up being rebranded into NextGenGolf. And you kind of talk about everything just building on top of each other. It sounds like, from like the club association to, like you said, ended up being your post grad at the city tour. And then, the National High School Golf Association kind of prefacing that and saying, well, there's obviously something before club golf at the collegiate level as well. And it seems like you guys are beginning to be the full package. And just recently in 2019, you guys were acquired by the PGA of America. Talk us through that. Like, how did that help you guys kind of maybe even establish a little bit of legitimacy, but also kind of say, all right, we've snowballed to here, but what's next?
Yeah, you nailed it on the head there with legitimacy. Obviously you start to get the name out there a little bit with working with a ton of these courses on the collegiate side of things, and city tour as well. But when you're still calling and trying to book these tournaments, not a lot of people had heard of NextGenGolf. So yeah, back in April of 2019, we were lucky enough to be acquired. So we're a subsidiary of the PGA of America, and honestly, it's been great. We're still up in Boston. We have a 9-man office up in Boston, and we're slated to move down to Texas when the headquarters is finished in Frisco. So kind of a big stage there. But right now they're letting us stay up here and kind of do our own thing, which has been really good, because it's not a lot has changed on that end. But yeah, I mean it's been great, especially when it comes to working with some of these courses, and like you said, hitting that legitimacy part of saying, we're calling from the PGA of America, a subsidiary of the PGA of America. It really helps. And we're working with a lot more PGA professionals now, really incorporating them in things that we do. And, me being a PGA professional myself, it's one of those things where it's pretty cool to see, starting to work with sections and just professionals in general. And start to host at some awesome courses now. And I know City Tour especially, we've had some courses on the schedule like Chambers Bay, and our first tournament's at Black Wolf Run at the River Course for the Wisconsin or the Milwaukee, Chicago area next weekend. So some of these newer courses that sometimes when you call and you say it's from Next Gen Golf. It's, okay, what's that? How is this tournament really going to happen, sort of thing. But yeah, it's been really cool. And, obviously working with one of the, if not the biggest name in golf, has really helped us kind of continue to grow.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you said the move to Frisco is obviously a plan in the future. Without going too deep into the you guys' future plans. What does Next Gen Golf have? Obviously post COVID restrictions and stuff like that. But what are you guys planning on doing? Expanding city tour, maybe. Obviously putting on the National High School Golf Association tournament if all things go to plan. What's 2020 and beyond look for you guys here, continuing to grow?
Yeah, I mean, growth. You nailed it once again. It's one of those things where we're just going to kind of let this play out and see what it has in store. We've already had to make some pretty serious adjustments to our schedules. Our NCCGA spring season was completely canceled with the kids pretty much not being on campus, and in my city tour side of things, we've pretty much rescheduled from March to May. Hopefully get this thing rolling next weekend at Black Wolf Run. But yeah, so we have our city tour championship will be in December this year. So basically all the local events are qualifiers for the city tour championship. And that'll be at Kiowa Island in December. So, really excited to get there. That's obviously a great track, and especially for us northern guys, we all know a December golf trip is pretty fun. So we got that coming up. The fall NCCGA season, if all goes to plan, we'll get that back up and running, and the fall nationals will be in Hilton Head. So another cool location for a little November get together for all the college students. And then, yeah, hopefully, like I said, get the NHSGA Invitational, on as scheduled for Pinehurst, because we're really looking forward to that. And I know a lot of families are kind of using that as their, light at the end of the tunnel thing. So, would love to see that happen.
Yeah, it's been cool to see Pinehurst, especially. Dante and I talk about this kind of constantly. Is those North Carolina folks down there? It doesn't seem like they ever shut down golf, which is really cool. But then again, kind of like aggravating to us Northerners, like you said. It's like, man, you're on the golf course every day, and I'm stuck here at home. Can't do a thing, can't play,
Exactly.
Can't even, think about playing. So if you guys have one opportunity of having that, you guys picked a good place, probably unknowingly at the time, but reluctantly so now to see Pinehurst, all operations pretty much a go with some restrictions and stuff like that in store. But awesome, man. That is so cool. I love the fact, and Dante and I, like I said, harp on this constantly, there just needs to be more ability for people in our generation to play, and it's that millennial generation, and it's like it's post-college, 24, 25 to like even mid-30s. It's that generation of golf that's always looking for stuff, because it's like I still feel like even I play in the men's leagues at most of my clubs, and it's like it's the old, like I'm the youngest there by like 15, 20 years, like easily. There's not many guys my age that are playing it just because like, oh well, isn't that the senior league? And it's like, no, it's a men's league, like you guys can play. And it's just like, they're I don't know if it's a stigma or what it is, but it just seems like all these they're like old money leagues, and there's still not a lot for us out there if you're not single digit handicap with aspirations of winning your state or AM or your state open. So it's really cool to see this kind of stuff floating around, and I think year by year just continuing to grow a little bit more notoriety. So with your city tour and stuff like that, how can guys and girls reach out to you and become a part of that?
Yeah, definitely. So, nextgengolf.org is the website, and you can, dive into the city tour, and that has our schedule. Everything will be updated. We're, as I said, just kind of going with the flow here and making reschedules when we need to. But on the website, you can search by city. Like I said, 25, 26 major cities right now that we do have tournaments in. I would say at the moment, probably looking to start like after June 1st. So I think that first weekend's June 6th or 7th. So hopefully, we can keep those going as planned, but yeah, they can kind of see the whole schedule there. You can reach out to me. My email and phone number is all over the website. So, never hesitate to reach out, but any questions or anything, we'd love to get you. And you can sign up as an individual, you can sign up as a pair, sign up as a team. So many different options. And if you, sign up alone, we'll get you matched up and make sure you have a good time out there. So yeah, anywhere on the website.
Awesome, man. I love to hear that. And, we were scrolling your website a little earlier. I had to shout out your head security guard, Walter Hart. Looks like an absolute furball full of love. And I just had to shout him out because that is so cool that you guys put him on the website. So absolutely love that. And hope you see him in the office every day. Give him some belly rubs for us. So for those listeners who don't know what we're talking about, I'm going to let you go to the website, www.nextgengolf.org to check that out and see exactly what I'm talking about. But Ben, really appreciate the time tonight, man. It's awesome what you guys are doing, and the fact that from 2006 to now, you guys have been able to grow not only just collegiate golf experiences, but high school golf experiences now, and the post grad side of golf. It's the awesome movement that Dante and I talked about, man. We just love to see. We are the next generation of the golf industry. So to see that kind of being just pushed by you guys and so hard and so consistently, and I think you guys are all in a mindset of just always looking for new spaces within the golf industry to find your own and to keep growing the game. So really appreciate you joining us, and thanks so much for the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you guys having me.
Yes, sir. Take care. And, hopefully next time we talk, which I hope will be soon, you in Massachusetts and everybody up there will be playing golf, and you can get out there and enjoy the walk.
That's the hope. We appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Well, take care, and we'll talk soon. Awesome, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that was Ben Tyler from Next Gen Golf. Something we kind of talked about in between the conversations here is the discount code that Ben and the rest of Next Gen Golf want to give all of our listeners to encourage you guys, whether it's the city tour or any of their other foundation events, to sign up and you get a little discount. ETW15 at checkout will get you guys $15 off any of their tournaments coming up. So specifically the city tour. He was talking about, this year is going to be at Pinehurst. So I believe they already have their championship rounds qualifiers set for that. I believe it's going to be up here in June. So everyone who has qualified is already qualified. But they've talked about it, last year, I believe, Dante, where did they say they had it at? Say they had it at Chambers Bay?
I believe so.
So they went from Chambers Bay to Pinehurst. So I'm guaranteeing year 3 with their new partnership with the PGA of America especially will be a stellar event venue. He talked about places like the Whistling Straits course. He talked about courses that they're having the city tour at, like out in I think he said the Black Course at Streamsong or something like that as well. So they're having phenomenal event venues, even for the city tour events themselves, let alone the national championships. So guys, it's something to really check out and look into as far as getting a team together. He kind of described it, as just your buddies league. So it's a fun kickback time, guys. It's not super, pompous, super serious golf, but it's a good outlet for our generation to go seek to play some golf. So there is no age limit. You just got to be out of college and anywhere in between, I think 23 and above it can play, men and women. So excited to check that out, guys. Like we said, discount code ETW15 at checkout will get you guys $15 off your entry fees. So pretty cool stuff there, Dante.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. It seems like they're growing rapidly. Seems like they're obviously they're nationwide too, which is great. They're at a lot of cities, and they're going to probably be growing in the next couple of years. I'm a big fan because, like we said, most of the guys and girls that graduate college that have played sports their entire life, basically almost they tell you that you got to hang it up. And I think there's something wrong with that. There needs to be some type of competitive juices flowing because, I would say like 90% of us aren't going pro. So, that few percent that are going pro, like, congrats, good for you. Can't wait to see like you guys on the leaderboards and all that. But again, it's all about the camaraderie. It's getting the buddies together, getting the girls together, having some drinks. But at the same time, you have a goal at the end of the day. You can just try and win something, and that's perfect. And that's what I like to look for. Is like I always want to go out and play and have some type of. I love having friendly matches, and I love to just get out there and grind. But I also like to enjoy myself too, and I think that's what they. And like what Ben was saying is that's what they're all about. And it's cool to see because I'll say it again, like if you're either a member at like a high end club or whatnot and doing the member events, or you're some plus handicap doing local amateur stuff, there's no in between. And I think they hit the nail on the head on this one.
Yeah, no, those guys they're up to something good there. There's no doubt about that. And they've been around the golf scene since 2003 now, just, running tournaments and running events, whether it's for the collegiate level kids at the club level, the NextGenGolf, the city tour since 2015. And then, even more recently, like he talked about with the high school events. So they know how to run a good event too, which is really cool to see. So excited to hopefully cross paths with those guys in the future at one of their city tour events, and maybe make some noise down the road at their national championship too from the Enjoy the Walk crew.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Absolutely. Now, something else I wanted to talk about. It's happy opening day in Maryland for golf. For all of our listeners that are in the Maryland, Old Line State, congratulations. We're back. We have
Finally.
We're here. Now, I will say, we got the, clarification today that we are opening. But we talked about it on the pod with Ben. You would think being one of the last states to open, we'd have our shit together. It's a shit show logistically right now. No one knows what app they're using, how we're logging in. Some people are saying, I'm getting sources saying that some people are just letting people in clubhouses because they don't have anything set up, and just wearing masks and telling people no more than three in a clubhouse at a time, this, that, and the other. So it blows my mind that we were one of the last to open and this infrastructure isn't set up by now.
That it will continue to be it's a shit show. It will continue to be a shit show, and it's just going to be controlled chaos. It's still chaotic, even on the Jersey side of things. So buckle up. That's all I have to say.
Yeah,
I mean, stay on top of it.
It's like you said when it opened in New Jersey. We talked about just a few days ago. It almost brings more anxiety to actually open in the first few days than joy of having golf back. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm stoked to go play some golf, but I'm also very understandable, at least the way my club has talked, that I'm not guaranteed a tee time tomorrow. So the way our club's running it is just 7 a.m. They're going to send out like a mass email and say whether or not tee time's open. The course itself, at least for us, isn't opening until 10 a.m. So they're giving themselves like a 3-hour leeway to accept tee times and to accept call-ins and this, that, and the other. But I'm skeptical. I'm super skeptical of this actually working out. If you don't see me on a golf course tomorrow, it's because we just had absolute shit for infrastructure for this to actually happen.
I think once the release comes for golf, I mean, the floodgates open and you just got to expect the worst and kind of hope for the best scenario. That's what I did. I've been fortunate enough to just stay on top of things, and I've been able to get my tee times. Obviously, you're going to see a lot of bumps in the road, but it's weird because I think courses get stuck on what they want to do. Do they want to access third-party applications in order to set up online payments, or do they have the funds that they have a supportive IT system that can set something up? And it seems like a lot of these courses don't, and they have to utilize third-party applications. So let's face it. I mean, there's thousands of courses across the country, and there's
it's
like
unfortunate.
one company.
It's very unfortunate because obviously those third-party applications, they do take percentages from every tee time and stuff like that. So they're not for free. Like these, especially these big, golf courses, they're paying for every tee time through this third-party app. And it's like, when you boil it down, do you really want to be given $4 or $5, $3, $4, $5 to a third-party app? It's like, I can see maybe the reluctancy to go onto a third-party app, but I think it just makes sense during the time we're at right now to be using a scannable third-party app that you don't have to walk into a clubhouse.
Yeah, I agree.
You showed it too. I'll promote our fans to go check this out. Check out our Instagram at Enjoy the Walk Pod. Dante kind of documented his experience throughout a New Jersey golf course today that I thought did a phenomenal job at it. At least from a viewer's perspective, they social distanced the the cars. When you pulled in, it was every other spot. Mm-hmm. The way you kind of walked up to this outdoor tent that had a table and you scanned in. Walk us through that experience real quick that you had today that maybe was even different from the courses you played the last couple days.
Yeah, so I think the only thing that was really different is the way that separated the cars, like every other spot, which is actually pretty smart because some other courses that I've played, you just park wherever and you can be on top of things. And I think one of the biggest things that they try and push to make sure out of social distancing is to make sure that you're not congregating in the parking lot, because they're, some guys are going to try and, crack some beers. They're going to shoot the shit and talk about their round, pay some bets. It's like, no, the courses don't want to see that. The guidelines, state they don't want to see that. But yeah, they go back off of that, obviously I booked the tee time online. They get like almost like a week in advance, paid. So I was all set to go. Again, got an email like the night before, hey, looking forward to you. This is your tee time here and there. And then they usually, most of these applications, they'll send you like, hey, this is what we want you to do. No more than 10 minutes before your tee time. If you're earlier, stay in your car until it's like 10 minutes. So say if you have like a 8:10 tee time or whatever, like don't get out of your car until 8 o'clock. And then so I pulled in, as you guys will see. I was pretty much like right on time, like perfect. So I got out, walked through, put my mask on. Like I said, a lot of the courses just want you to have the mask on because you're around people more than when you're out on the courses before and kind of afterwards, like basically the parking lot and check in. So you go in, they had their like laptop out there and had everything set up. He was checking us in, just me and my partner, got in, cool. Luckily, another thing, this course somehow they allowed the practice green to be open, so you can at least get a feel for the greens. Most courses, it's literally no joke, 100% park and play. You park first tee, go 18th hole, green, you're coming off and you're going the hell home.
I saw that, and I kind of like that. I was like, you can still, especially with only two people going off every 15 minutes, you're probably only on the putting green with your playing partner anyway.
Yeah.
So, and I almost kind of argue that a little bit. I wish they would open the ranges, just for people who are paying customers, because, if you were allowed to be on the range, say only two at a time, in like, say half an hour in intervals. So half an hour before you play, you can be on the range. And then, as you go. So like, I think there's a little more leniency out there to be had as far as that goes. Cause I think, two at a time on a range, you're not really going to be, hurting anything. But then it involves, I see their kind of argument is, then it involves range buckets, and then it involves range balls, and then it involves, a lot of more variables. Yeah.
You're touching the baskets. They got to sanitize that. So
yeah. So I see where it involves more variables.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be nice if you can get a couple of swings in before, because once you roll out of the car, you don't know where that ball is going. You
Absolutely
don't know if you don't know what kind of flight, or if you're hitting a draw or fade or slice or hook that day. So
you have zero clue. Yeah,
it kind of sucks too if you're playing like a team game or some type of money game. But then again, it's not like you're the only one that's not getting any type of like warm up ball or warm up, and so you're just not going in cold. But yeah, that was actually kind of cool to get a feel for the greens. I think out of like everything, that's what I would want to get a feel for the best is the greens, because obviously, that's the money maker right there.
Yeah, you can make a swing. Like but if you're hitting a putt and you have no clue if it's going to go 7 feet or 18 feet, then it's a big difference.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, once we were like ready to go, the guy's like, yep, there's the first tee. You guys are good. And we'll enjoy your round. And then that was that. I mean, we just basically teed off and just walked 18 and then came off 18 and just grabbed their stuff and just went home. So, awesome, I mean, man. It's kind of funny though, because with the twosomes, you're playing in like 2 hours and 45 minutes in between, and 3 hours. I mean, you're flying. I came home. My dad's like, "You're home already?" Yeah, I am. I was like, it's that because of the distance traveled. So it was kind of funny, but yeah, that's kind of like I guess you can say, take the positive out of every situation. I mean, it's just you and yourself out on the course. It's very peaceful. You don't really have you're not up anybody's ass, or no one's up yours, which is kind of nice. So it's just
it's like you said,
pretty
though,
quiet.
I do golf sometimes to be out there for 4, 5, 6 hours because I'll go play not 18 and then swing around for another 9 and make it 27 for the day. So I use it as something to be like not busy for the day, but I enjoy being outside for long periods of
Yes.
time. And it's like I do almost wish that when Maryland brings it back tomorrow, I know it is going to be foursomes, so I think we'll be out there a little longer than that. But I do play golf because I just love being outside too. So like, I almost wish that while it's nice playing in twosomes and playing fast and not really waiting, that, you weren't going as fast, or you had the option to maybe slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, there's positives and negatives to that, because like you can maybe play maybe a couple extra ball, like another ball into the green,
Right.
Because I mean, you are that spaced out, and if you're playing quickly and you're not, all over the place, you can do that. So you kind of get like double worth your money in a way if you're paying. But at the same time, it's, you and your partner, if you guys are like holding a conversation, you don't know what to talk about, it's just going to be silent for a few couple holes, at least if
So
you're playing in
basically-
foursomes.
Basically you're saying play with a person that's got a good gift of gab, so you never run into those awkward scenarios.
Yeah, it could be a very quiet round for a good 3 hours.
It could be quiet too if you're spraying it. You see the guy on the tee box and then on the green.
Actually, that happened today. And like the other day, it was funny because I like snap hooked it like one, and it went on snap hooked my driver, and it went on a completely different fairway, but I still had a shot, and my partner pushed it, and he was like completely on the other side. I was like, all right, I'll see you at the green. And he goes, okay, see you later. And there it was. I looked over, and he was maybe 150 yards right of me. And I'm nowhere. I didn't play the hole, basically. I just played my own hole. And next thing I know, we're walking up to the green. I'm like, oh, hey, what's going on?
Funny seeing you here. Yeah.
How was the ninth hole? How'd the ninth hole treat you? What are you putting for?
That's crazy.
So that's the funny thing. But, it's peaceful. It's quick. But then again, if having those extra 2 guys is also, good for camaraderie. It's good for other type of matches and stuff like that. So you gotta, again, I said it, gotta take what they're giving us. We could be like Massachusetts right now, the lone wolf. Just
Poor
unfortunately,
Ben.
I don't know. It sucks. I just don't get it. I mean, you see 49 other states playing.
It just blows my mind, man. I mean, I will say, I'm no doctor or any of this, but Boston, Massachusetts had a big spike today again. So weird kind of occurrences happening up there in Boston. And I think, just as we saw Maryland kind of just overarching with the Baltimore Metro DC area, they're just kind of one state, one act right now. So if they're seeing a spike like that, they're going to stay shut down for a while. So it's unfortunate, that we're continuing to see maybe a spike or two here or there, but I would like to, advocate that I don't think golf courses are a spike producer in any way, shape, or form. But just want to make a quick announcement for the people that are still listening to this podcast. First off, thank you. Y'all are awesome. Second off, we are dropping 2 forms of hats this Friday. We are dropping the gray and black hat with those black patches that we posted about, that those on YouTube are watching me wear currently. And we're also dropping a dark camo with our black patch as well. So it'll be the ETW OG patch that we have on a couple of different hats. The gray front build hat with black mesh, and a nice dark camo with black mesh and the black patch as well. So check out those guys. Friday morning we are dropping those 8 a.m. So be the first to get those guys. Very limited numbers, only about 10 of each. So check those out. Snag them while you can. I'm sure they will go very fast. We are also dropping a all gray kind of dad hat style baseball caps. So that'll have the black patch on as well. So guys, 3 different styles of hats. We only have 10 of each. So I'm sure they will go very fast. So get them before they're gone. www.enjoythewalkpod.com is where you can find those. And Enjoy the Walk Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Guys, go give us a follow and a like there. You'll see the posts about those hats dropping on those platforms. So guys, also feel free to check out our YouTube page, Enjoy the Walk Podcast on YouTube. We post every one of our podcasts live on YouTube. So you guys can go check that out if you're feeling to watch us on the podcast instead of listen to us for a change of your TV. You can see, who we're interviewing in face and put a face to the audio of who we're bringing on the show each and every week. And if you haven't seen our face yet, whether it's Dante's face, whether it's my face, tune in and check it out and see what the heck we look like. You might not like it, but that's what we look like. So
Can't change that.
Cannot change it. So appreciate y'all listening, guys. Really, really, it means a lot. If you're a faithful listener and you haven't done so yet, go to iTunes and feel free to give us a rating and a review. That would mean the world to us as far as rankings and stuff like that. So thank you, guys. Really appreciate all the listenership, all the kind of fanhood, and the listeners out there that have been so loyal. So without further ado, Dante, we're gonna go try golf tomorrow in Maryland. What do you think? What are my expectations going into Maryland golf tomorrow?
Just enjoy it.
Should I have no expectations?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
just
totally
at
agree.
least just try do a little bit better than me on the first tee and hit it in the fairway. I didn't hit it in the woods. I hit it in the I hit it in the fairway bunker. So see if you can put one right down the middle. See what happens.
Well, I have to say I have an option of 3 different courses because the 4th course is closed right now for some maintenance. So I have 3 different options, and all first holes are wide open. Like if I miss the fairway at any one of these courses, it's an issue. Like it might not be playable.
Which courses are open?
All right. So I have the option tomorrow between Glen Riddle, War Admiral, which is their link style course.
Is that the one with the track? Which one's the
yeah?
the
That's
horse
the one with the horse
track
track on about.
Yeah, that
hole
one's
6.
fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So right there on hole 6 by the green, and then hole 7, the long par 5. The horse track runs right down the par 5, which is pretty neat. You can actually, if you hit it way far enough right, you can actually have to play off the horse track, which is pretty funny. And they still have it sanded like a horse track style.
I went on a trip with my dad and his buddies, and we played that course, and I just kind of took a detour just to go on the track. Just
it's a sweet venue for anyone who's never been there. The clubhouse now is actually the old barn, where the classic, if you guys watch the movie Seabiscuit, and you hear about the movie, Man of War, the horse Man of War, War Admiral, they were all born and bred on the eastern shore of Maryland, in a small farm near Ocean City, Maryland. It's actually where I'm a member at. Glen Riddle Farm was where they were bred and born. But there's now 2 championship golf courses on the site where this horse track and kind of farm was back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, kind of like Depression era, I think is when they raced. But it's really cool, man. They have all of the old memorabilia still around, all the old newspaper clippings from both horses. The big kind of press release between Man of War and Seabiscuit is right there in the clubhouse. So it's really neat. And then you actually can go up into the loft. It's still, like I said, all original barn, with just a new facade on it that all the men's and women's lockers are up there in the loft, which is pretty neat. So there's a lot of history running through there, man. And it's neat to see them kind of keep as much as they can. They had like this mini water tower at this venue for the farm specifically, and the old water tower is still there as well. Still says Glen Riddle Farm on it instead of the Glen Riddle Golf Course logo. So it's a pretty sweet course, man. And when they open up, they have 2 courses on premises. Like I said, the War Admiral, which I'll probably play tomorrow, and then Man of War, which is back in the Pines, which is a really, really long, tough track.
Yeah, I'm looking at the hole right now with the track on War Admiral.
Yeah.
On Google.
Yep. Yep. So it's fun, man. But I also have the opportunity of possibly playing Rum Point or Lighthouse Sound. Now, Lighthouse Sound is more of a tourist style course. It's a lot easier to play, but it's the course with the views. It backs up on the bay side of Ocean City for the whole front nine, and then finishes also right there. 16, 17, and 18 finish on the bay of Ocean City. So it's a really neat course there. And then Rum Point is a course out on Assateague Island. About 7 or 8 holes on the water there. So the last two courses are very, very wind-stricken courses, I guess you could say. So if I play those courses, that they might be a battle come, the end of this weekend. I think it's supposed to get pretty windy. So that could be pretty fun to play if I end up having to play those two courses. But yeah, man, I have no clue what I'm going to play. Like I said, tee times are open for availability at 7 a.m. tomorrow. And the way I understand it, there's no rhyme or reason what they're giving tee times for anything right now, unless the email we get says any different. So could be a crapshoot, could be a lottery. Who the heck knows? I will keep y'all informed because I don't know. We will see. Maryland Golf, we're back. I don't know how we're back, but we're back.
There you go. As long as you're back.
Hey, we're back and excited to bring everyone in on the journey of somehow playing golf in Maryland over the next 2 days. And you're playing Friday. You said you're taking off the day tomorrow because the hooves are barking, but you're playing Friday. Where are you playing?
I think we might be doing Downingtown Country Club. It's actually in the PA side. So
there you go. So you can play foursomes there.
Mm-hmm. I like that track. It's cool because it's like an old Philly course. Pretty strategic, kind of tight, tiny greens. So you're not pulling driver on every hole. You kind of really have to strategically think. I would say I'd probably pull driver maybe like 5 or 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of that. Like I like taking, anywhere from hybrid, 3-iron, wood, and like driver. Like I like mixing it up with those 3 clubs off the tee. I'm a big fan of that.
Heck yeah.
I always get made fun of my one friend when I play certain clubs or courses where, he thinks they wants to pull a driver all the time and try and go for the green, but I'm a fan of let me try and place it to the fattest part of the fairway.
Sure.
That's my strategy, but hey, everybody has a different strategy. But yeah, I really enjoy those style types of courses. So should be fun. I think the weather's not going to be the best. Like today was very muggy.
Mm-hmm.
It was cold. Rain picked up as we were leaving, so we finished in time before the rain came. Of course, Thursday is going to be absolutely dead gorgeous and sunny outside. So.
Oh, I'm pumped for if we had one day to choose to open, man. Tomorrow weather-wise looks beautiful. So excited for it, man. Excited to get out there and take everyone along for the ride and see how it goes. So we shall see. And until then, get out there, guys. Carry your clubs if you can. And if you don't live in Massachusetts, if you do, I feel really sorry for you. But carry your clubs and enjoy the walk, everyone.
That's the stuff, one shot at a time.